I'll never forget the first time I tried Tinder. It was during the winter break of 2015, a time when everyone was back home from college. With nothing much going on and no girlfriend, I thought I'd give the app a shot, especially since it was all the buzz at the time. It was around 8 or 9 p.m. on a Thursday, prime time for app activity. I downloaded Tinder, set up my profile, and spent about 10 minutes choosing 4 photos that I thought would be most appealing. Writing a witty bio wasn't my forte, so I kept it simple, mentioning that I was 6 feet tall, played hockey at Penn State, and enjoyed working out. I swiped right on almost everyone to see who would match with me. To my dismay, I quickly exhausted my likes without a single match. My confidence plummeted. I always considered myself fairly attractive, so it was a blow to my ego that no one seemed to think the same. After what felt like ages, just as I was about to delete the app, my phone vibrated with a notification. "Congratulations, you have a new match." Excited, I checked the app to find that I had matched with a stunning girl. Her profile pictures showed her in a bikini with friends, getting kissed on both cheeks by 2 girls, leaning against a brick wall, and at a college party. She was 20, like me, and attended Syracuse University. I started the conversation with a simple "hey" and a smiley face. She replied almost instantly with "hey cutie." After a brief exchange about sororities and mutual interests, she mentioned how close we were and suggested meeting up that night. I played it cool, mentioning I was watching Elf at home. She responded, "No way, me too. You should come over, we can watch it together," adding a winky face. She gave me her number, and I texted her after a short wait to avoid seeming too eager. The conversation continued with her urging me to come over. She sent an address, which was just a short drive away. I told my mom I was heading out and left. The address led me to a quieter, somewhat isolated area. The house was in a private spot, with a large, tree-lined area across the street and spaced-out neighboring houses. 2 cars in the driveway made me uneasy, but I brushed it off. When I texted her that I had arrived, she instructed me to go around back because the front door was noisy. Suspicious, I asked if her parents were home, but she didn't respond. As I walked around the house, I noticed an opening in the blinds of a window. Someone was peeking out but quickly let the blinds fall back into place when I noticed. I texted again, asking if it was her, but got no reply. Feeling uneasy, I cautiously continued toward the backyard, hearing faint noises that made me more nervous. I finally reached the back door, a sliding glass door, and noticed there were no lights on inside the house. I texted her again, saying I was at the back door and asking where she was. She replied, "Come in." I felt too uncomfortable to enter the house, so I decided to call her. The call screen revealed she was using Text Now, a service that provides fake phone numbers. The most chilling part was hearing a ringtone right behind the glass door and seeing the glow of a phone screen. Someone was hiding inside. Instead of running, I calmly walked back around the house and then sprinted to my car once I was out of sight. I drove home and only checked my phone when I got back. There were 15 new messages, most asking why I left and urging me to come back. The last few were more ominous. "I'm not actually a 20-year-old girl, but I'm sure you figured that out by now." Then, "No laws were broken, LOL. Good luck." And finally, "I know exactly what you look like, and I have your number." I blocked the number and tried to report an unmatch on Tinder, but the profile was already gone. It was a terrifying experience, like something out of a nightmare. Fortunately, I never received any further messages or calls from the person, and I was able to move on. Since then, I've used Tinder a few times, but just casually, without any real intention of meeting up with anyone. A few months ago, I was feeling pretty bored and decided to hop on Tinder. I wasn't looking for anything serious, just some casual chats to pass the time. Maybe, if I was lucky, I'd meet someone interested in hanging out that night. My initial swipes brought a decent number of matches, so I started sending out a few cheesy pickup lines, just for fun. Then, something unexpected happened. A girl named Amanda messaged me first. Amanda was stunning. She had long blonde hair, was 23 years old, and honestly, she looked like a model. Her reaching out to me was surprising, and to be honest, I was a bit flattered. We started chatting, and things were going smoothly. She lived nearby, which was a bonus. As our conversation continued, I decided to see if she might be interested in meeting up that night. To my surprise, Amanda was open to the idea. She seemed excited, but she had a specific request. She wanted to meet at a small park near her house before we did anything else. I thought it was a bit unusual but didn't want to seem picky, so I agreed. We set a time to meet at 10 p.m. As the time approached, I felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. I left my place around 9:45, eager but also a bit anxious. The park was only a short drive away, but each minute felt longer as I imagined what she would look like in person. When I arrived, I noticed the park was quite dark, with only a few streetlights casting shadows. It had a quiet, almost eerie feel to it, but I brushed off any uneasy thoughts, focusing instead on meeting Amanda. I walked over to the swing set, the spot she had mentioned. Not wanting to seem too eager, I waited until exactly 10:02 to text her, letting her know I was there. There was no immediate response, which I thought was a bit odd. I waited a few more minutes, then sent another text, "Hey, I'm here. Where are you?" Still, no reply. The minutes ticked by, and I started feeling more uneasy. The park was completely empty, and the silence was starting to get to me. My initial excitement turned into concern. I checked my phone repeatedly, hoping for a response, but nothing came. My messages were being delivered but not read. It was now past 11 p.m., and Amanda still hadn't shown up or responded. The reality began to sink in. I'd been stood up, or maybe even worse, fooled. The whole situation started to feel like a bad joke. The dark, empty park no longer seemed just quiet, it felt unsettling. I felt foolish standing there alone, waiting for someone who was probably never going to come. Finally, I decided to leave. As I walked back to my car, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had been tricked. The whole experience left me feeling embarrassed and a bit paranoid. Who was Amanda, really? Had I been catfished by someone using a fake profile? The thought made me uneasy. It was a strange and unsettling experience, a reminder of the unpredictability of meeting people online. Even now, when I think back to that night, I feel a lingering discomfort, wondering what really happened and who was on the other side of the screen.